Okay, next one we're going to do is the pop can. So this one is a little tricky. There's a lot of dimensions on here, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to try to make half of it, and then this half profile we're going to revolve 360 degrees. So first thing we want to do is to try to go ahead and find this point right here. We're going to start here and we're going to work our way kind of upward on this profile. All right, so the total width of the can is 2.622. So let's go ahead and make kind of half of that, a line kind of extending from the axis this way, half that distance. So we're going to go ahead and sketch on the front plane. Let's go ahead and make a line. Make it this way. And we're going to make this 2.622 divided by 2. All right, so that's kind of the halfway point of the can. All right, so it's from here to about right here. All right, let's go ahead and go up all the way to 5.25 so we can get all the way up to the top. That would be the next thing I would want to do. So let's go ahead and go up, and that dimension was 5.25. Okay, so this is like half of our can. Let's hit escape and see where we're at here. Let's move these out of the way. Okay, so let's try to see if we can make this little, it's almost like an inverse fillet. It's kind of like an arc here that we're going to make. It's going to be an arc that is 1 inch in radius. So we'll come down here and let's make an arc. I want this arc to be 1 inch in radius. Now we have to also look at these to figure out what point the arc starts and stops. So it's going to be 0.31 from the edge of the can. So let's put that dimension in. From here to here, that dimension should be 0.31. And then the other dimension from the bottom of the can, the arc ends, .29. Okay, so once we've gone ahead and drawn this arc in and its distance away from this point, we can go ahead and trim away some of these lines like this. And we'll leave this point in here because it helps us to figure out how far away this arc is going to be. Okay. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start focusing up on the top of this can. So let's look and see what we have going on here. So we're going to kind of come up, and then we're going to go, what I would like to do is to kind of come up here, come over, and then come down like this, so that way we sort of have the outline of the can, and then we could fill in the details up here later. Okay, so let's go ahead right now. We're going to come over from this point right here, and we're going to come over like this and come down back to complete our loop, and then we'll finish off the rest of that later. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get the line tool, grab the line tool, and what we want to do is we want to kind of stretch out here until you see like a green line. You see that green line that pops up? That means that we're in line with the origin and the original spot. So we're going to go ahead and draw this in, and then we're going to complete our loop. Now this isn't perfect because we have some work to do in here, right? We have some detail to put in over here. We have an arc to put in over there. And if we look up here, we can see that it sort of looks like this. Let's zoom in a little bit. So there's a point right here where we arc, and we arc this way, and then we go straight up. All right, so you can see it on the other side of the can over here. We arc, and then we go straight up. All right, so let's go ahead and just kind of draw an arc and straight up, and then we'll put the dimensions in. All right, so let's find our arc tool, which is right here. Let's zoom in. We'll just kind of guess. We'll say, you know, we kind of arc sort of like this, right? That's good. And then we go straight up like that, okay? Now we know that this isn't perfect right now, and that's okay. Let's go ahead and start putting some dimensions in. All right, so let's go ahead and look here. We want to look at kind of the top of this can. We want to try to get some of these dimensions in as well. So let's do a little erasing. If we look back over on shape, we have a few lines that we need to dimension. So let's go ahead right now. We want to dimension this total height of the can. Total height of the can should be 5.25. All right. The width of this can should be 2.622 over 2. That comes from right here. 2.622 divided by 2 is half of the width of the can. All right. All right, so now we have that in. Let's find out what this little lip is right here. So this little lip is, if we look, and let's see here, it's right here. Total lip is 0.25 inches right there, okay? So from here to here. So let's make sure we have that 0.25, okay? Right. Now let's go ahead and make sure that we have from this point to this point figured out. So from here to here, vertically, is another one. Right now it's 0.2885, so we need to make sure we have that right. And it looks like that's this dimension right there. So we need to make that a little bit longer, 0.458. Oops. 0.458. There we go. All right. I think at this point we're probably ready to put in the width or the radius of this arc. And if we look back over here, the radius of the arc is 1 inch. So let's put that in 1 inch like that. And now I think everything kind of lines up pretty good. Ignore this little black line right here. We're going to do some trimming. We can trim this line and this line. I think now we sort of have a good thing to revolve. I think we have pretty much everything we need to revolve our can. All right, so I think we're good to go. So let's go ahead and we'll finish this sketch. And it sort of looks like a pop can a little bit. Now all we have to do is revolve it. So let's revolve this thing. Okay, so there's our face. I just chose the face of the sketch we drew. It's that gray color, so we know we're good to go. Revolve axis, let's select the middle of the can. And there we go. It revolves around, and yeah, that looks like a pop can. So we'll hit OK. We have a little bit of detail on the top that we need to do, though. So let's go ahead back over here. Let's look at the top. We have a little bit of an indentation at the top. Can you see it in here? So I guess it's more like around the edge, right? So this is a little circle that we need to extrude downward. So if we come on out here, we can see that, well, actually, let's look right here. This dimension right here is important. It's 2 inches. So 2 inches from it's a 2-inch diameter circle that we need to draw. So let's go ahead and sketch on the top of the can. We'll pick a center point circle and we'll draw a circle. We want it to be a 2-inch diameter. We'll hit OK and come back out here and we'll extrude downward. We need to remove. We don't need to remove that much though. We'll need to remove a tiny bit, only 1/8 of an inch, 0.125. So we'll throw that in there. 125. We'll hit OK, and there is our pop can.